I just built a business to $1 million annualized run rate in 23 days. I'm going to tell you what that business is, how I did it, and what I'm thinking about for a $10 million annualized run rate. Okay, first of all, take notes. Second of all, subscribe to this channel. Incredible amounts of free information. You will learn so much, you'll gain from this. And all I want to do is help you make money. All I want to do is help you get more freedom and have more options. Okay. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Arlan. 10 or no, 11 years ago, I was sleeping on the floor of an airport. And today I have invested in more than 200 companies led by underrepresented founders. And I've been on the cover of Fast Company and Black Enterprise. I have 4 books out. And I teach people how to make money today, how to make your first dollar or how to make your first million and beyond. And I just launched this company called More. And the way you spell it is M long O R. And what More is a place for people who have had some success, but may not be in the right rooms or know what the next steps are for them, or know how to invest their money, give their money, have fun, or earn even more to come together in a very, very unique situation. So you have country clubs, you have social clubs, there are business affiliate clubs. I've been a part of all types of these. Like, for instance, I have a membership to Soho House. It's a physical location in several cities around the world. I have an all house membership, and I spend most of my time at the West Hollywood one. But I was just in Chicago a few days ago, so I was able to go to the Chicago one, bring guests, and it was great. And I pay an annual amount, a few $1,000s per year. And then every time I go there, I pay more to eat there or to hang out there. It's really an interesting business model they have. Like, I'm actually people are on a wait list. There's like 20,000 plus people on a wait list to get into Soho House, pay thousands of dollars to pay more. Okay. And why do people pay for that? Well, it's about a location that you can go, but there are restaurants all over the city. Every city has a restaurant, at least one, right? This is a place where when you walk in, you're probably taking the elevator up with someone that you either know from TV, especially in LA, of course, or that you know from business, like a business hero of yours, or that you want to do business with. It is just the way it is. You're surrounded by people who elevate the conversation. And it's definitely bougie. It's definitely, has its hit or miss moments depending on what location. But ultimately, people are paying for proximity. They're paying to be in a group of people who kind of understand them. And I think they're paying at Soho House and others like it to not have to explain themselves, right? Like any country club, that's the same thing, a golf club or if you're at Gathering Spot or if you're at Blackbird, you don't want to have to explain yourself. You're just there, you fit in. So More has the same premise, but it's not a fixed physical location. It's a state of being. It is a state of mind. And the idea is we have 4 pillars. More, earn more, invest more, give more, play more. So on the earn side, I teach people how to make more money because I that's what I do. And I teach them very specific things that I do not talk about here for free or talk about in my other memberships. It's just the way it is. On the invest side, I've invested in more than 200 companies and I get an absolutely incredible deal flow, meaning people come to me or I'm tapped on my shoulder. Hey, can you come over here and take a look at this deal? Or, hey, I may know someone, like, for instance, I've invested in OpenAI directly. I'm on the cap table because I know Sam Altman and because that was an investment I was able to make, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So on the invest side, the members of More, they're learning how to make more money because everybody can use more money to do the other 3 things, right? Even if you're very successful, you want more so you can do the other things. And then you have investment allocation with me. You get to share in deals that I do if you want. It's all optional. And I get to tell you and introduce you to very interesting founders. On the give side, I have, along with my mother, donated approximately $1 million in the past, let's call it 8 years, 7 years, mostly to Black scholars for scholarships or women for scholarships, mostly across, multiple countries and mostly in the US. And some people who have means or they have a few extra $1,000 or tens of thousands of dollars per year, or maybe you're someone who makes 450,000 a year, you get a $50,000 bonus each year. You don't know what to do with those things. I'm not a wealth manager, but I can tell you this is what I'm giving towards. This is how I set up my family donating practice. This is XYZ. Here are some experts who can come in, who are part of my team, who can come in and tell everybody else what to do because they are expert, etc. And then on the play side, I'm having the time of my life. I have to be honest. Okay. And this is, if you think about all this, if you're taking notes of what I've built, I'm building an irresistible offer. This is what you do. You build an absolutely no-brainer, irresistible offer. So you get all of that. And then the play side is instead of having a physical playhouse, we go to different places. So, for instance, a few days ago, I got a suite at Crypto Arena, which is where the Lakers play. It's also where the LA Sparks, our women's WNBA team, play. And they were against New York Liberty, our biggest rival. So I got a suite. I brought some people in, some friends of mine, and some people from other groups, and I brought in more members. And that is how we roll. They did not pay extra. They just got to roll with us. Same thing for we have a Kaylani suite coming up in September. We have a Whoopi Goldberg play happening in New York. We have seats for that. We have Mavis Staples is coming to Ojai. Some people are coming to that with us, and I'm going to shuttle them there. And these are not extra. You just have to get yourself there. So think about that for the customer. The customer is someone, by the way, that ideal profile. They are someone who their business makes $1 million or more each year, which is not extremely hard to do. I showed you that I'm doing this in 23 days. It is like it's impressive, but there are a lot of people who have that, but they just don't know how to go from 1 million to 3 million or 1 million to 10 million. And so they're very interested in this. I've had multiple calls, dozens and dozens of calls the past 3 weeks with people who are in that position. They're so, so happy about that, but they don't know what to do next because they don't know who to ask. And also, it's a little embarrassing to ask or to not know. So here it's like this is where you learn that everybody else is learning it too, or has done it and can tell you more information. So they either make $1 million their business does per year or more, or personally they make $200,000 a year or more in their career, which again, a lot of people do. And I have this criteria because of the fact that on the play side, you may not have to pay, you don't pay extra for these things, but you do have to get yourself there. And I don't want people to come in a distressed situation. If you can't see yourself spending 10,000 or 15,000 or more to be a member each year, and you can't see yourself spending a couple thousand to 5,000 per trip, it's just simply not for you. So think about this avatar of a person, of a customer, and they're just having a great time. And the thing is, inside of our member portal, which is a private portal, inside of it, there's just a list of activities. You can pick and choose. It's a menu. Do you want to go see Kaylani and then go play some golf with me? And do you want to go over here and go over there with me? I'm going to be in that city or that city. Do you want to have dinner with me over here in Miami? And maybe we'll have lunch in Portland. You can pick and choose because this is what it is. This is this undeniable thing. And if you think about the unit economics of it, today, the first 30 members pay $10,000. That price will go up after the first founding members are chosen. And we're 3 weeks in, we have several members already. But you can think about what I have decided to do is I have taken a percentage of the total amount that I earn with more, and that percentage goes towards the activities that I would pay for. So it goes towards the suites, it goes towards the front row seats, the courtside seats, the dinners, the lunches, the experts that I bring in, any team members that I have. Then I have two who are dedicated to supporting more members. And there will be more depending on how many members we have. And so because I have that percentage, then my profit margins stay the same as it grows. And it's a large percent, it's a large enough percent that I'm using to pour back into more that each member feels pampered. And they're not just getting to play. For instance, when we go see Kaylani in September, it's a full suite, food, beverage, just be a wonderful time, 3 or 4 hours at the arena. But prior to that, we're going to do a wealth mastermind at a different location in Los Angeles. We'll do that. We'll get a lot accomplished, get to talk to each other as a group. We'll go in a shuttle that I provide, luxury, transportation. We'll go over to the concert. And this is the type of thing that I'm creating and curating all throughout the year. I'm also having conversations with other things that are even more exciting, in my opinion. I can't really talk about it right now, but just things that we're 3 weeks in and we've already established all of this. So many other things are either coming my way because they've heard about more, or I'm seeking them out. So over the next few weeks, even more will be announced within the member portal. And it's very cool the way I have it set up. Now, I'll tell you this too. What I've done is on Lovable AI, I've gone in and built a really beautiful member portal that feels very upscale and private. And it's advanced. It's not, just like a landing page. And you go in, and I have it so that anytime you're on the front page of it, once you're signed in as a member, as a paid member, an invited member, because you must apply. If you're interested, by the way, in being in more and not just hearing the behind the scenes, there is a link below, in the description or pinned comment. But once you're in, every time you're there, you see another randomized member profile, like a highlight. So you get to see who else is in the group, get to know them, and we're building real relationships. It's very cool. You may have heard of Chief.com. You may have heard of Hampton. That's the kind of comp you can give it, except with those, um, they do have live events, and I really like their live events. I've been hired by Chief before to facilitate an angel investing course, which I loved. I've also been to their events, spoken at their events. I think three of them at this point in three different cities. I like what Hampton is doing. I see it from afar. I think it's very cool. But none of them, in my opinion, are as curated as ours is. And it's only because this is coming from a place of what would I have wanted a few years ago when things started to get really, really successful for me, but lonelier. What would I have wanted for myself, and what do I want for myself today? Like, I think about this basketball game we just went to, and we had the suite. And what happened when it ended up happening very organically was I was sitting in a chair for half of it, walking around for the rest. And every 5 or 10, 15 minutes, someone would sit next to me and kind of rotate out, and we get to talk and really have a good conversation and enjoy the game. And then people were talking to each other and making connections. And this is what it's all about. Like, I can go to a mixer, I can go to a conference even, and I probably will find someone that I get to know and like. But the room of more and more has been so curated. It's an application process, it's very specific criteria, and then it's curated based on high, high, high intention of being in that room. And in some cases, people are flying out because they really want to be there. It's a very, very special and very, I think it's going to be one of the biggest and best things I've done in my life. I doing this for the duration. I can't see a time where it's going to sunset. I really want to do this. Now I did Inner Circle, which was an Inner Circle membership, uh, for 5 years, and just now sunsetting it this year. I could see this being at least a 5 year situation, if not 10 or more, because it's like as I grow and as the opportunities that I get bigger, I can bring the more members to it while still maintaining everything else to the outside world. All of the free content that I give, my low ticket courses, I can still do that, but more gives me that place for these very intentional rooms that I'm building. So I created an undeniable product. I Here's an important part that I need you to hear. I priced it for value, not for what I think people can afford. And I could have built this whole thing and then charged only a few $1,000s for it, like two, three, 5,000. And I would have a lot more people coming in because it's like, oh my gosh, of course, right? You're probably saying, yeah, I would do it. I priced it at a minimum of 10,000. This is for the first 30 members that hasn't been reached yet. Minimum of 10,000. It will go up 15, 20, 25,000 for new members, and they will pay that yearly. The $10,000 founding members will pay 10,000 yearly if they want to stay. It is absolutely a minimum of 10,000 because I'm not trying to do a bargain basement. As many people as I can, please come in. That would completely defeat the purpose of what this is. It is highly curated. I say no to several more people than I say yes to. The price prices out more people than want to join. And therefore, I am going to, by default and by design, leave millions of dollars on the table per year because I'm not willing to lower the price or lower the quality. I'd have to do one or the other. And what this means is the rooms are just fantastic. Not because if you can pay more, you're a better person. It just means everybody's aligned. If I started a basketball club for everybody to learn basketball or play basketball, and I let people in who hate basketball or let people in who don't wish to play basketball, then it wouldn't be a basketball club. You see what I mean? Doesn't mean those people are bad. It just means this is not the club for them. And I think, there are just some very specific things that happen when you reach $1 million or more in your business. If you have reached that, you know what I'm talking about. It's a certain thing that happens in your mind. It shifts. If you're knocking at the door at 700, 800,000, you'll see. There's a certain thing that happens when you're making 250,000, 250,000, 200,000, 300,000 a year in your career. It's a certain thing that happens. It's not that you are rich. It's like you may make more than a lot of people in your family, but you also probably live in a city that costs a lot. And I know my friend said, Sheena said in a Forbes article, she's like, 150,000 ain't 150,000 when you are a Black woman. And I could say the same for a lot of people. So if you're making 200,000, 300, 400,000, let's say you're a physician, let's say you're an executive, you're in the legal profession, any of that. Let's say you're an artist, any of it, you're making good money. You still have stress, responsibility, and the desire, a little bit maybe of survivor's guilt, because you probably make more than a lot of people around you. And maybe you want to just hang out with people who understand all of that nuance. So what I've done is I've gotten very particular about my audience. And this is what you need to do if you want to build $1 million a year business. You get very precise. This is a huge lesson. Most people think I need to build something that is for everyone or for the most people possible so I have the most chance of those people buying. Like if 10 million people would buy this, then it's easier than if only 1 million people total would, they call it total addressable market, TAM. It's just not the case. And I'm going to tell you something else. If you're thinking of going from 1 million to 10 million, which is what we have conversations about inside of More, you absolutely have to niche down. You absolutely have to be precise. You have to be precise about the customer type, the product you have, because you can get to 1 million. I've done it multiple times. You can get to 1 million with like 10 different offers or price points or customer avatars. You can kind of stumble your way into it. But to get to 10 million, you have to be precise and know exactly who you're talking to, where they are, how to find them, how to deliver to them, and how to get in front of them, the distribution of it all. You have to know that. You also cannot be the bottleneck for everything. You can't be the only person who can sell, has the vision, who can deliver, can answer customer questions. You can't be the only person. Again, I'm in it. I know this. I'm not just saying it because I read it somewhere. I know what it's like to be like, "Oh, well, I am the only person." No, you are making money. Use some of that money as leverage. And the very quickest way you can leverage that is by bringing people in, even faster than AI. Yeah, you can make some AI agents or have some AI agents spun up. Sure. It's going to help you get things faster, organized. Cool, cool, cool. Before you get the agent, get the person. So that the agent, we know what the agent's doing. You want to have the person, the people. They don't have to be full time. They don't have to do all that. It can be what they want and what you want. Some people don't like working full time for a business. A lot of people who I work with, like every single person I work with, and this is just always the case, I can't help myself, is an entrepreneur in their own right. And so they're not necessarily like, oh, I'm in this for the next 5, 10 years with you. Where do I clock in every day? Most of them are freelance. And I love that. I love the contract or the freelance version of it, or the interim or the fractional or the this or that, because we both get what we want. And there's some very strong players in that realm. You just need from them, you need them to be bought into what you're doing for at least a good amount of time. And what's a good amount of time? A year would be great. A couple years would be awesome. But it's not hard and fast rules. And when they're working with you, they need to be working with you. They need to be locked in. The results need to speak for themselves. And then once they're there, let them let them do their thing. This is what I have a lot of hard time with because I'm so used to doing everything myself. You may feel this way too. If you're like doing 6 or 7 figures in your business, you most likely got a lot of the way there by yourself. Let me know in the comments if any of this is resonating with you. Or send me an email, arlanhamilton@gmail.com. Let me know if it's resonating. You may feel this way, but you have to. I'm coming from someone who has had multiple bouts of burnout, multiple stints in the hospital because I just wouldn't allow other people who I paid to do the work. You gotta, you gotta choose, let them do their thing, let them prove themselves. If it's not working out, they gotta go. If it is working out, give them more freedom. You'll get there. You'll get there. So what I plan on doing, well, first of all, what I did was I have enough members that I have an annualized run rate of $1 million if things were to stay the same, not get slower or faster. What I plan on doing though is cranking that up. So in year one, we're only in week 3. In year full year one, I want to be at, call it 2 or 3 million uh, uh, annual, and it's subscription based, so it is recurring revenue, which is like the bomb. And then by the end of year 2, I would love to be at 5 million plus. And then by the end of year 3, I'd love to be at 10 million. And what that means, it could mean that I have 1,000 members total by end of year 3. It could mean that I have 500 members total and most people are paying 20,000. It could mean somewhere in between. But think about this. Keep this in mind. It's not that I have to get 1,000 new every year. It's recurring revenue. So as long as I can over deliver and people feel like they are getting their money's worth and more, way more, then they will stay on because it'll be something they want. Like I'm in my third year of Soho House. I'm not leaving. So I do that. So the first year you bring in maybe 100 or 200 members. The second year you bring in another 100, 200, 300 members. The third year you bring in another 300 to 500 members. And yes, some will leave, but most will stay if you do it the way we're talking about. And at the end of the day, you have 500 to 1,000 paying a certain amount. It just all depends on what the price ends up being for for the majority of the people. I'm in the founding phase, so there's a little wiggle room, right? I'm doing my minimum 10,000 where it's very, very accessible. And yes, it's upfront and no, there are no payment plans. That's another thing. Now, I will say this as a caveat to what I just said. I use Stripe, which has Klarna Afterpay. I also now use Affirm. I also use PayPal Pay Later. So four different third-party buy now, pay laters that will that are available at the link below. So I don't see if you use it or not. That's between you and the third party. You pay them over time. I just get the money sent to me. Sometimes people like to pay with their cards, and this isn't. Let me really spend some time here. Okay, so with the buy now, pay later, if you are selling something, anything that's a few hundred, and especially a few $1,000s, you have to have a buy now, pay later option. The easiest way to do that is to simply have Stripe in your checkout process. PayPal also has a PayPal Pay Later. If you have PayPal, you can get Stripe in most of these e-commerce places like Stan Store. The point is you want to know so you can promote it and tell people it costs $2,000, but there is a buy now, pay later option from these three places, these two places. Add these options, add more. I just added Affirm. I already had the other three. I just added another one because sometimes people will not get approved over there, but they'll get approved over here. And it's just, even if somebody is like, they have the money, a lot of times they like to spread it over time. Like what I like to do is like for furniture, I like to use a buy now, pay later. It's just something about it, paying monthly for something that is part of rent that I pay monthly or mortgage. I just like it. So I might put $6,000 even if I have it. And yes, I'm paying some interest, and I know that. And it may not be the best thing, and I'm not your financial advisor, but I'm telling you the psychology of people who have money is that we don't always just spend the money we have because that's how we keep the money we have. Does that make sense? Sometimes people who have money use debt in a very, strategic way, even if it's personal, small debt. So there's that. And then sometimes people just pay with a card because they want the points. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you this is what people do. So sometimes a customer will pay you with their card because they want the points. Sometimes people will transfer money from their bank account because they have a bank account for such purposes. And I won't even get into the whole thing that I've been talking about all week online in different places, but I've been talking about like, don't try to guess what somebody can afford. What I have done instead of trying to guess what somebody can afford and try to pocket watch is I'm just telling you what my criteria is because of my experience with 150 people who have paid me $5,000 to $6,000 in my inner circle. And with that experience, what I know is that if you do any kind of payment plan or if you have someone who's very, very struggling to get in at that amount, they're going to fall behind when you go do the retreat. They're going to fall behind when you say, oh, we're going to all do this thing. We're going to chip in 500 for this thing we're doing. You want it to not cause distress. So I do everything on my site. If you go to the site, even if you're not going to sign up, go to mentformore.com, look at the spelling below. Look at the entire site. Look at how I put emotion at the top, logic down the bottom, because I just did a video about this on YouTube where I talked about your landing page. Look at how I do that, but also look at how many different ways and times I tell the person, make sure this is for you and make sure you can afford this. I don't guess if they can. I have them have a conversation with themselves. I do not want you to be in distress when you join this membership. It makes no sense to when I have so many other things you could join for less. Simple as that. That, to me, the leaving things on the table makes my life, it enriches my life. So yes, I may be leaving millions of dollars on the table. Maybe this could be a 20 or 30 million dollar operation if I just went all in and had meta ads and just lowered the price and just made it for anybody. But then the experience for everyone would be less. It would be diluted. And then I would not have as much fun and enrichment because I would be having conversations with people who should not be in that room. It would just be one more thing that somebody signed up to instead of it being like, no, if you get in, it's very special. It's very intentional. It's very meaningful. I didn't find you randomly. You found me. We found each other. Spend some time. If this is the first time you're seeing me, don't sign up now. Go spend some time watching my videos. Go into my memberships. Look at things. Spend at least some time watching some of my free videos to see if you think it would work. Don't just do it because you're like, oh, I want to be in that suite. No, no, no. Do you want to, does everything else I said resonate with you too? And then I'll see you at these amazing, amazing experiences. More to come. If you are already a more member and you just happen to be seeing this and you're taking note, smart, 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 smart. Um, there's so much to come that I haven't even mentioned yet. And I'm incredibly honored and grateful to have you here. And you don't have to do everything. It's a menu. Pick and choose. There will be multiple opportunities in different locations, and a lot of things will be delivered online virtually. So that's what I'm doing to get to the 10 million. I'm going to be very focused on my avatar, even more so. I'm going to be very focused on where I'm finding them. So far, LinkedIn is my best platform for finding the right person. But I have a feeling that YouTube could do something too. That's why I'm doing this video and others, because I have a feeling that YouTube can, it's been my favorite for 2 years, and I feel like it can help me find the people I'm looking for. So prove me right. Send me a message, send me an email, arlanhamilton@gmail, and say, yeah, I found you on YouTube. I make more than $1 million in my business or more than 200,000 in my career. You found me. The algorithm worked. I'm interested. I'm taking a look, like, let me know if this has worked. But just so you know, for the whole process. And the 10 million is over, I think over 3 years I get there. And I do it in a way that is just the most fulfilling ever. So don't try to copy me. Just think about all the takeaways. What is your version of the perfect or the least close to perfect offer that makes your life more enriched and enriches others?